Hey guys, what's up? It's Lina here with a review for eye candy. Just say some of you guys might see my hair. Don't look cute. I made a little cute hairstyle. And no, it's not a wig. I know it might look like a wig, but it's not a wig. This is my real hair. So it's cute, isn't it? I did it myself. As you can see. Don't be mean in the comments, but whatever. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Anyway, this is the review for eye candy. So we're gonna start off with what happened first. So there was this boy. He was going to surgery because he was having problems. He was going into brain surgery, and he was having problems because he was having like seizures. I think that's what it is. Yeah, he's having seizures, and then all of a sudden, because they was asking him, because while she was pressing his head, brain and all that with the utensils, she was like, what color is this? But then he got it wrong, and then she pressed it, and it was like, try again. And so he was doing that kind of test. Then all of a sudden, it was a beeping noise, like beep, beep, beep. And then everybody, one woman fell, and she was like, boom. And he's like, is she okay? Is she okay? And it was like, ugh. And they all started falling out, and then everybody just dropped. And he was like, help. And he was screaming, help, help, help. And, everybody just like started dropping to the floor. So then he was all scared and stuff. So then, when Lindy had a date with Jake, she was waiting for Jake to come over to her place because she cooked for him. And she didn't make good food because she tasted the sauce and she's like, that's not edible. But he cooked for her that time, so she was like, it would be nice for her to cook for him. So then Tommy came over. Tommy came over and was like, he needed a favor. And while he was telling her the favor, Jake called, and Jake was like, well, I'm sorry I couldn't make it. And then so he was like, she was on the phone with Jake, and he was like, I can't make it, I'm sorry. And then she's like, that's okay. So in the back, I don't know why, but I started busting out laughing at this. Tommy tried the sauce that Lindy made, and he was like, he almost he almost died back there. And I thought that was funny. I don't know why, but anyway, then he was like, he bailed on you, and she was like, seems like it. Or stood you up, and then he was like, I need a favor. And he was like, an old friend of his was in trouble, and his friend was a neurosurgeon that actually dropped it, and passed out in the or operating room on a boy. And he told her what happened with the boy and all that, and that the boy started hemorrhaging after that. So he didn't die, but they was hoping he was gonna stay alive. But they said that the hospital's machines been rebooting itself, and it was all the machines been shutting down and shutting up and shutting down. And he thought it was something suspicious, and he wanted Lindy to go and hack and he wanted her to go in the hospital undercover and go and hack and see what's going on, if it's really the server or if somebody's trying to hack into it. So they went and met up with the neurosurgeon, the female doctor, Mrs. Wells, I think, Dr. Wells, and she gave Lindy the server key to go in the room to go see all of the servers and all that. So when she went in there, she found out that it was somewhere in that hospital where the virus was like at. So then she had an idea. So she called George up, and but while she was going around, the cameras kept catching her. The cameras was catching her while she went in the service room, like they was watching her or something. So she was hacking to it. So she called George, and then after she called George, she started taking some pills, and she did a whole bunch of jumping jacks, and she was doing push-ups and all that in the stairwell. I was like, how is nobody seeing this? And I was like, what is she doing? And then the doctor and the Tommy was wondering what was taking so long. And then they see that some van pulled up. It was a carpenter van, but it had a big old antenna on the top. He's like, what's a van doing with a big old antenna here? Then he knew that was probably Lindy with George or something, and trying to hack something in there. So Lindy was trying to work up a fever so she can get admitted into the hospital. So that's what she was doing all them jumping jacks and jumping around and stuff. So after she did that, the doctor took some of her blood work, and so she was put into the system. So then Lindy had George hack into the system while she was in the system and put down that she had neurosyphilis, and so she can get into the ICU. And then Lindy faked a faint. She fainted, but she faked it. So then while she so then they went, so then she faked it, and then then she went to they had her all dressed up and stuff because they're gonna do some more tests on her because the doctor was like, if you have this, that means you got this disease when you was an infant, because it takes, if some people who have this, it's like 15 to 20 years, and she's like 21, I think, so she would have had it when she was an infant. So he didn't like say that it was gonna take some tests for her. So she got up, she had a little tablet thing that she was tracking the virus and where it was located at. So she walked and she talked to some other girl that was in there because her heart, she needed a new heart, and her liver was shutting down. So she was talking to her and saying don't give up and all that, and stay strong. So Tommy went and was like asking George, where's Lindy and all that, and he called his other buddy cop and told his buddy cop to watch George, and George told Tommy what Lindy was doing in the hospital. So the doctor told Lindy's gonna run more tests, and then she's walking around to see where the hacking was located, and she see the boy who was in the OR when everybody dropped dead like flies, and she looked and she smiled at him because his mom was in there with him, and then she sees some guys thrown out of the room where Erica is at. She talks to her and tells her that, and she talked to her and she was like, oh yeah, that's just my boyfriend Mark, and then she was like, he's not taking it too well that she's dying. So then the girl's like, I've been close to death many times, and I can tell that you got something, you holding something heavy. And she's like, I just lost someone. She's like, I'm sorry, and all that. So then she was like, it's all about money with everybody though. All these big machines, it's all about money. So I already knew it was something up with her in the first place, but Lindy went back to go looking, and she sees she's in the area where the virus is located, and it's in a small church in the hospital because they have these small churches in hospitals, and somebody taped something to the bottom of the table, and it was like the virus thingy on the bottom of the table. So in the church, and the nurse that was in the first scene, because when everybody dropped like flies, the boy's nurse was him. So he see Lindy, and I thought she was about to get caught. I got scared and stuff. I was like, oh my god, no. But then it looked like she was meditating. So he was like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm just meditating. And he was like, we need to run some more tests on you. And I was like, that's him. It's him. Because, he already looked weird at the first part. So then I was like, oh my god, what's he going to do and all that? And so anyway, they moved on from that. And then, and he's like, well, you shouldn't be walking around. We got to run more tests on you. Then they took Lindy to the room, and the doctor was about to put the needle in her so he can take some back fluid from her so he can run more tests on her. So then, Tommy came back and then came in and was like, honey, what are you doing? I thought we agreed on this. We're gonna do this. And she was like, I'm sick, honey. And it was pretending. He was pretending to be her fiance. So then he was like, well, do whatever test you want to do. And then, cause he didn't tell her that she was gonna do all this crazy stuff in there. So he was like, well, give her a hug, cause it'll loosen up the pain on her. Then she was like, well, have you guys? I'm assuming you guys been intimate. And then she was like, you're gonna need tested too. And she's like, haha. And then, but eventually, they didn't get tested on because the female doctor, Dr. Wells, was like, what are you guys doing in here? And then she was like, she was told the other doctor, she's like, I got it from here. He was like, fine. I was like, okay, was he so strong on testing that girl? And he was like, she's like family friend. So then, and then the doc went and talked to Tommy. While they was talking, it looked like they was being watched on like video and taped and all that. And I thought that was creepy the way they kept doing that. But then we eventually see out why they was doing that because it make all sense now. And then Lindy found out that the intrusion was by her nurse, the guy that was actually the nurse for the boy that everybody was dropping dead. Because George told her, because he saw that it was located, it was traced back by his hospital tablet. So and all of a sudden something started beeping, and then Erica started dying. And then her boyfriend was messing with her machine, and then she died. So he was like pressing the buttons and all that, and then it was like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh my god, did he kill her? Because I thought he was like the second suspect too. So then Lindy found out that Erica's artificial heart shut down, and which was a machine also. So that means that the virus shut that down too. And then Tommy's gonna question the nurse, but Lindy stopped him. because the nurse wasn't the last person to log in, because the nurse was at a rave the other day, at 5 days ago, so he wasn't the last one to log in, and anybody could have access to his tablet thing because they had a tablet rack right there, so anybody could have access to it. So basically, whoever put the virus out there had access to that tablet. I don't know where they. I don't know. I don't even think they got that in real hospitals. That's pretty dangerous. A lot of people have a tablet rack, and why does nurses have tablets? What happened to charts? I don't know. Anyway, I heard, and a nurse put in the system that Erica was deceased, and then it was some weird thing when it went on electronic, and then the service started to malfunction because it was like Erica deceased, and it was like then all the computers was like and it was like glitching and stuff. So then all of a sudden, all the lights started to flicker, and everything started, all the machines started shutting down and stuff. So then Erica's boyfriend was talking to Lindy and said he was gonna have to clean her apartment, and said that she had some family, but she was really the one that got away and did something with her life, and that they was crazy, and that she wanted to die basically because she made peace with dying. So and the female doctor was telling Tommy that Erica was on the list for 2 years for a new heart. Then the doctors put on some medication so she could wait a little bit longer because she wasn't finding a new heart. But then the medications destroyed her liver, so she was too weak for a donor heart. So she was bumped off the list. And they said she was calm, but her boyfriend was the one that freaked out and was mad at the hospital. So Tommy said, "Well, start off with the boyfriend. You always start off with the boyfriend." Then Lindy was still talking to Erica's boyfriend, and he said that him and her never officially said they was together. They wasn't really officially together, but they worked together before, and then before that, they knew each other for a long time. So, like, she didn't want to say that he was her boyfriend because he was probably gonna feel obligated to stay there with her since she was sick. And but she sees that but he really did love her. But she saw that he worked for somebody named Mexico, and he said she wanted to die, but she made the choice. The service had a timer on them, and they were still malfunctioning. And in George sees what work Erica and her boyfriend did. They designed antivirus software, which is that he's probably the one that put this virus on it because he know how to do this stuff. So it's like, I was like, what? And it was weird. This was a weird episode, actually. I like it though because it focuses on something else. I keep saying this every week, but it does anyway. So then the timer goes off, and the whole hospital starts shutting down. And then the virus was tripped when Erica's exact death was entered in the system. So then Lindy and Tommy talked to Erica's boyfriend, and he said that they made the virus. Both of them made the virus. It was never supposed to be used. Then Lindy figured out that Erica killed herself. Erica killed herself. That she wanted to die, but she wasn't trying to, because she knew that she was hooked up to. She wanted to die, but there was no way for her to die through that way. So she had to do it electronically, since she had an artificial heart in her, and that the machines was pumping her up. So if the machines shut down, then she would die. So then they said it's a kill switch. So then they went and they looked at the cameras, and it was like a tiny device. So they looked at the camera footage, and they seen that she actually swallowed the kill switch while she was taking her pills. I don't know if she did it on purpose, or I don't know if she just did, or she did it because she was mad. She was mad at the hospital. She was so mad at the hospital that they wasn't doing anything for her, and she wanted revenge. So she swallowed the kill switch. So they went to the morgue, Lindy and Tommy, and they went to go inside her body. Then Lindy see a Jane Doe body, and it was 18 years old. I guess how old her sister would have been right now. And takes off the cover from the body, and then she looked like she was surprised or something. So I don't know if that was her sister or not. It didn't look like her, but it was somebody. So then Tommy finds Erica's body, and then the other cop is looking for the female doctor, because they about to dig in the body. So then Lindy and Tommy are ready to start digging because George is telling them how to do it and all that. And it was getting all scared. Then Tommy was scared. Then she was like, well, let's do it together. And then the female doctor was like, what are you doing? Stop. And then Tommy's like, thank God. He was like, we need your help. So then she do it. Then they hurry up and they go run. They got the kill switch. So they go run to the server thing, and they put it in. And it was like, oh, shoot, you need a code. So then it was like, what's the drug that destroyed, what's her name's liver? Erica's liver. So then Tommy hurry up and go upstairs and go in the thing and see that was marzipan. Marzipan, but then they put that in and that didn't work. So then it's like, what is it? And then Lindy got an unknown text and was like, was like, what, hello Lindy, it was something like that, creepy. And then he was like, need my help, and she was like, yes. And he was like, try this, it's the molecular formula for marzipan. So she put it in and it worked, and she was looking up at the camera, and then she was looking at the cameras, and he goes, yeah. And then the system rebooted, and then it started working. Then Tommy went and talked to the female doctor. He thought she was married, but she just wear a ring. She would just wear a ring so the patients wouldn't hit on her. And I was like, okay. And then she asked if Lindy was his partner and what is she to him. And he was like, it's hard to explain. Then Lindy went to talk to Tommy. And then would he stop that with that hard to explain stuff? Okay. Do you like her or not? Like, okay. I wonder if Ben is alive. I think Ben might still be alive. I think Ben might be the virtual killer. I don't know. Is he the virtual killer anymore? Anyway, so then Lindy was talking to Tommy and asked if he was gonna date the doc. And Lindy ended up going to go. He said no because he's like, don't you? He was like, just like you said, a cop and a neurosurgeon. How did that work out? And Lindy went and talked to Erica's boyfriend. He said Erica came up with the perfect virus, but she didn't really mean to hurt anyone. So and he was like, he's like, she just became obsessed. He's like, I don't think I can understand obsession that way. And Lindy's like, she does. Lindy said that she understands that obsession because, you know, she got that guy watching her all the time. So, and her boyfriend asked, how did she know the code was a molecular formula for marzipan? And she said, a hunch. And he was like, and then she started looking at the camera, and then the watcher guy's like, you're looking at me like you didn't want my help, but you took it, didn't you? You make a good team, Lindy. You and I don't let me down. I have such high hopes. That's how it was. It was really creepy. And then Lindy went to her house. Lindy went to her place. She don't have a purse or nothing. Where she carry her stuff at? Anyway, so Lindy saw a present in front of her door. You know what she thought it was some kind of killer thing. But she opened it up, and it was just a book of the best restaurants in the world. She opens it, and it sees this from Jake. And he wrote saying, next time, sorry I missed dinner. And it said Jake. Unless that guy was watching her too and just said that to her and thought he sent the book. But anyway, then on a preview, some people are being watched, and then they tried to lure the killer again, like that's gonna work. And then something happened to Tommy again, like that was gonna work. And then Lindy ends up getting kidnapped and tortured, like luring a killer, like he was gonna fall for that. He's watching every move. What did you guys think? Okay, guys, that was the end of the episode. This episode, I actually liked it. It was pretty good. It still kept the main focus in there, but it went a little bit over to another thing, like I said last week. And I like this. I like how they switching from different people and on there and bringing new people on there. And Kiersey Clemens and John Garrett Stoker, they was absent for this episode. They wasn't in this episode. And the sergeant lady wasn't in this episode either. It was more of an episode for Kate. This is more Tommy's episode, kind of. Because Tommy, that was Tommy, that neurosurgeon was Tommy's friend. So it was like Tommy. So it's showing a little bit more Tommy, but I like this episode. It shows some more different things in it. And yeah, I hope they do this more. I can't wait for next week to see how Lindy's gonna escape from the torturers of this killer. And it's kind of scaring me. I know this is not real. Well, it could be real life. This could be happening in real life, but we just don't know. But that was a review. Like, share, comment, subscribe, guys, please. Send it to everybody you know and everybody from the eye candy show in this box right here. If y'all can see in this box. Comment as if you like my hair. It's cute. I know. Don't be mean. And follow me on Twitter right here. Put it right there in front of my face. And I'm out. Peace out, my scouts. Bye.